Alright, what's up everybody? This is Hannibal Sky with a Borderlands guide for the Xbox 360 on Next Gen walkthroughs. This is my first guide. Doing kind of a character selection guide. Because when you first start the game, you have to choose one of four characters, and it doesn't really go into a lot of details about what all the characters can do before you choose them. And it's not really easy to change characters after you've started playing. You have to watch the whole opening cutscene again and go through all the little orientation and learning how to play the game missions. There's no skipping cutscenes in this one. So, making these guides, kind of going over what your characters can do so you can choose which ones you think you would like playing as best. This is the Siren character. Her special ability is the phase walk, which you'll see me go into here. And when you go into it, you do damage, and then when you exit back out of the phase walk, you do damage again. As you saw there, I killed a skag when I went into it and killed a skag when I came back out of it. When she goes in the phase walk, she runs really fast. So you can run into cover if you're about to die. You go invisible when you're in phase walk, so they don't see you, so you can run and hide, let your shields recover, step back out and fight again. You can upgrade it to where you can daze your enemies. You can electrocute enemies when you're in it, just by running past them. So there's a lot of options with it. Later on in my playthrough with her, I had it set up where it's electrocuting like you see it doing with this guy. So I'd start to lose health after my shields were down. I'd go into the phase walk, run past everyone, so I'd light them up with electricity, and then I'd get behind cover, so when I come back out of it, they can't hit me until my shields recover, and I'm doing damage to them still from the electricity. It's also really helpful with how fast you move to be able to run past a group of enemies you want to skip. Real quick, this is the elemental artifact section. If you choose that, I didn't know this, but until like my second playthrough, you can change which artifact you use as you collect them. You can collect a bunch of them, so you can choose a higher level one or a different type of damage that you want your special ability to do by choosing that top left icon and switching out which artifact you're using. Pretty useful. But going back to what I was talking about, if you come across like a group of enemies you fought a bunch of times and you just need to run through this section again to go drop off a mission, or you're short on time to play and you just want to get to your objective, but there's a group of enemies in the way, you're going to have to fight. With her, you can go into the phase walk and just sprint past them all, and they never knew you were there because you were invisible. So just for the sake of time management in this game, she's easier. And sometimes if I had a long way to go and my car blew up in the game, I'd just throw down the phase walk and get to where I needed to go a little bit quicker as well. Here I'm just kind of stepping through all of her different upgrades you can get, so you can kind of see how you might want to customize the character if you pick her up to play as. You can see I got up to level, I think, 36 or so with her, and you can see the abilities that I set up on her. Once you hit level 5 is when you can start picking up the abilities, and you max out at level 50, I think. So you get a point per level, so you get 45 points to disperse amongst your different upgrades as you go along through the game. So looking at, as I walk through all these, you can kind of see how you would want to set up your character to see how you would play with them. On mine, I increased her shield capacity, because shields regenerate a lot quicker and easier than your health does. I increased her bullet damage and fire rate, bullet speed, and I did one of the upgrades in the last column there, where as you kill enemies, when you kill an enemy, you gain accuracy and bullet damage. Found it pretty useful for killing groups of enemies. Another thing with Lilith, and kind of Roland too, I think, when you're choosing shields in the game, the ones I've used the most so far have been the health regenerating ones. They have ones where when your shield runs out, it puts out a burst of fire or corrosive damage. But usually when I get to the point where my shield cuts out, I'm not usually surrounded by enemies. Like, I tried using them, and every time I'd go out, I didn't really do any damage to anybody because I'm retreating at the time my shield goes away. So just a little tip there. Other characters it might work for, but for at least the Siren and characters like a Roland, might not work as well. But yeah, overall, pretty fun character to play as. It's, your special attack, your special move isn't really an attack as much as some of the other ones are. It's kind of a escaping a situation kind of move, so it's a little bit of a different way to play, but definitely fun. So yeah, that's Lilith, the Siren. Up next, we've got Roland. He's the second character I played the game through as. And I've got him a lot further in level than I did Lilith, because I played a lot more on Xbox Live with him, and I did the Ned's Zombie Island DLC with this character as well. You see there's my Scorpio turret's his special power. And you see the blue and red ring around it. That's, as long as you're inside that ring and you have it upgraded to do this, like I do, it's recovering my health and my ammo as I stay within that. It's only going to recover the ammo for the gun you have equipped at that time, so it's not going to recover all of your ammo, just whatever you're carrying. Scorpio turret so far has been my favorite power. I used it a lot. I'd find choke points, bottlenecks, whatever you want to call them. I'd throw the turret down in the bottleneck so it was harder for the enemies to get through, and they would just, keep coming at it, and I'd step out of sight and stay inside that circle, recover health, recover ammo, and just keep stepping in, taking some shots until my shield goes down, step back out, step back in. Couple times I'd get surrounded, throw it down, and do kind of like a army of two back-to-back kind of thing, if you've played that game, where throw it down and then I face the opposite direction, so, none of us are getting hit in the back, neither me or the turret. Found that to be useful in a couple situations where I couldn't get, out to the side, and I was surrounded and didn't really have a choice in the matter. Upgrades on this one. I upgraded a lot for my turret. I did increase damage for the turret, decrease the cooldown time. I added the homing rockets, so they kind of go up and come down on people, so if they're hiding in cover, maybe a direct bullet can't hit them, maybe you can't hit them, but the Scorpio turret's missile can, because it comes down. As you upgrade that one, it reduces the amount of time in between the rockets it fires. I set up a thing to where every time I shoot someone, it reduces the amount of cooldown time for the turret. That was pretty helpful. Get it back ready to go again. I gave it the ammo regeneration and the health regeneration. And I don't know. A lot of his character, you'll see here in a second, in the medic side of things and in the support there, are helpful for playing with other people on Xbox Live. There's a cauterize ability where if one of the people in your Xbox Live party is running out of health, you can start shooting them, and it heals them just by shooting them. So instead of using having them use a med pack, you just use your ammo and heal your teammates. Plus, the ring around your turret is going to heal and give ammo to anybody in your Xbox Live party. It can revive people that die inside the circle. It can do supply drops for your teammates. So yeah, just really overall useful tool the turret is. Again, with him, I used the healing shields just because I was never surrounded by people when I lost my shield. And something else I'm kind of noticing on my second playthrough, you see here, I just go to shoot this skag, and even though I got a pretty good combat rifle, I'm really not doing much damage to this guy. So I throw down the turret that I just got back there from cooldown, and I step out of sight, and enemies will start paying attention to that instead of you, and it just ate them apart. So, pretty useful.